Oh, hello again. Don't mind me. Speaking with you got me dreaming of the old days. Dwarves, elves, and men fighting against orcs and goblins. Those were glorious times.
I'd best be off.
Farin, it is good to see you once again. We were beginning to be concerned for you, and yet you return victor. We are grateful to you for ending the threat of Bargrasar. The giant might have done great harm but for you. The trolls and orcs of the Ettenmoors will be dismayed by his fall. They will be slow to march against us now.
What do you know about stone giants?
They are mysterious creatures. Little is known of them, and little do they concern themselves with the affairs of other folk. Yet they were never thought to be wicked, nor are they counted among the servants of the enemy. Making it all the more strange that Bargrasar sought to make war upon us. I detect the hand of the Dark Lord in this.
Aye, through Agendour, I'll wager. All the more reason why we need to come to grips with him, and soon.
I am glad you are so eager to come to grips with the enemy. Yet do not abandon caution completely. You will find few places in the north more perilous than Mount Gundabad. I only wish we were free to accompany you.
What do you know of Mount Gundabad?
It was once a great work of the dwarves, but it was abandoned long ago, and the orcs have taken it for their own. It is certain to be teeming with enemies. You will need to keep all your wits about you if you travel to Gundabad.
You sound surprised that the Eagles would join with us, but they have come to the aid of the Free Folk before. With my own eyes, I saw them fight beside us in the Battle of 5 Armies.
We have always counted the Great Eagles as allies and friends, but many men mistrust them and they have grown wary of dealing with other folk. They have been known to take counsel with certain of the wise upon occasion, yet they are their own masters, and aid only those they deem worthy. Clearly you have made a strong impression upon them.
They'll be a great help in the hunt for Agendour.
I am glad you are so eager to come to grips with the enemy. Yet do not abandon caution. I only wish we were free to accompany you.
You did pretty well at Fornost. I wouldn't mind having the two of you join us in the hunt.
Alas, our father has made it clear we are to remain close at hand as long as Imladris is threatened. Such is our duty, and we will abide by it. Otherwise, we would have sought leave to accompany Aragorn on his quest.
Why would an elf of Rivendell wish to leave his home to fight in southern lands?
For many reasons, not least of which is the friendship we bear for Aragorn. We have shared many hardships and perils together, as we did with his forefathers before him. We would stand with him when he achieves the quest for which so many generations of the Dunedain have striven. And so too would we be there with him at the bitter end, should all our hopes fail.
If that is how you feel, why not ride south at once?
We cannot think only of ourselves. We have a duty to our father and our kin. And what use would it be for Aragorn to gain the realm of Gondor, only to find the lands of Arnor reduced to ruin and ash behind him?
Never. The North will not fall into shadow while I still draw breath.
It heartens me to hear you say so. If you and your companions continue as you have begun, they truly have little to fear. Indeed. With you harrying the enemy across the whole of the North, the two of us will soon be on the road south.
I'll see what I can do then. Farewell for now.
We are fortunate.
Aye,
I am glad you are... Yet do not abandon... I only wish we were free to accompany you.
You also were sent out as scouts. What did you find?
Our road led us across the Misty Mountains and into Ravanion. We found wargs gathering in the wild, but as of yet there were no signs they had crossed the mountains. There were fewer orcs than we would have expected in the mountains, Strange we deemed it. We suspect they may be massing somewhere else. But where and for what purpose, we cannot say.
What about Rivendell? Have you spotted any sign of enemies skulking around here?
No true threat, but our wardens have slain a few goblins that strayed near. It may well be they were scouts seeking the location of Imladris. Wolves are also roaming in great numbers in the wild. These might be no more than simple beasts, but the enemy has used such spies before. We must assume the location of Imladris is a secret no longer.
Is Rivendell prepared for an attack?
As well as may be. This is not a fortress. Secrecy has always been our best defense. Still, an enemy would find the terrain difficult to deal with. And we have a few useful tricks to play, as the Nazgul learned when they attempted to cross the river. Yes, we might resist for a long while, but if the enemy comes in great numbers, it will only be a matter of time before Imladris falls.
All the more reason to be rid of Agendaur. The sooner the better.
I am glad you... Yet do not abandon caution. I only wish we...
I should be on my...
I am grateful to you, valiant dwarf. Even our high areas were threatened by the giant Bargrasar. You have my thanks.
I wouldn't mind knowing a little bit more about your leader, Gwaihir.
Gwaihir is the Lord of the Eagles. He can outfly the North Wind, and his word is law. Long ages of the world have passed since ancient Thorondor, first and greatest of Eagle Lords, soared over Middle-earth. But Gwaihir is the mightiest descendant of that line. He is wise and sees much that others miss.
You Eagles will be a great help to us, that's certain. But I'm curious why you volunteered to join with us.
It was enough for me that Belaram wished to join you. But there is also this. One of the eagles the stone giant slew was my own father. You avenged him, and for that act alone I would bear any of you to the farthest ends of Middle-earth. And though Bargrasar is gone, I still burn with the need for vengeance against the master that sent him against us, Agendaur. Your enemy is my enemy. I will not rest until he is brought down.
Were you one of the Eagles that came to our aid at the Battle of Five Armies?
I was there. I saw the goblins that had stealthily climbed the slopes of the mountain to attack your people from above, and was among those who set upon them and cast them from the cliffs to perish.
By my beard, you might be the very eagle that saved me that day. Those blasted goblins were throwing boulders down on us.
If so, I am glad. Let all the foul servants of the enemy meet the same fate, and I will be content.
We're bound for Mount Gundabad, a long way from the sound of it. Are you ready for such a trip?
We are strong and rested. Belaram awaits you whenever you wish to depart. He is our leader in this venture.
We're bound for Mount...
We are...
Welcome back, Farin. I saw you arrive, and I must say, it made for a fine sight. We have something in common now, my friend. We are among the few who can claim to have ridden on the back of an eagle, although I'm sure you enjoyed your journey more than I. Truthfully, I found the whole experience rather terrifying.
Your friends among my kinfolk have often told stories of your adventures with the Eagles, but I'd like to hear it from you.
Oh, well, it's a long story, really. There we were, 13 dwarves, 1 wizard, and 1 rather frightened hobbit, perched in the treetops, trying to hide from an army of wolves and goblins. They sniffed us out soon enough and set fire to the trees. It would have been the end of us all right there, had the King of the Eagles not led his people to our rescue. I was grateful to be saved, of course, but to this day I still feel a bit dizzy whenever I think about that wild flight.
Oh, I liked flying. The open air, the rush of the wind in my beard. Glorious. I can hardly wait for the next time.
I suppose that shouldn't surprise me, coming from one brave enough to fight with giants. Oh yes, I've heard all about your adventures in the Eton Moors. Everyone in Rivendell is talking about it. I've seen stone giants with my own eyes. It's beyond me how you managed to get the better of one.
So, you fought with giants too?
Fought? Oh, heavens, no. It was more like trying my best not to be accidentally trod upon. Frankly, I'm surprised a giant would make war upon us in this way. The ones I encountered seemed caught up in their own affairs and not the least bit concerned with me or my companions.
Agendaur had a hand in turning the giant bad. I've no doubt of that.
Agendaur again. Oh, I don't like hearing about that one. Especially when I think about places like Bree or the Shire. It seems like there is so little to stand in his way.
We stand in his way. We'll find him if we have to search every cave, pit, and ruin in the north. And when we do, he'll get the same thing we gave the giant. You mark my words.
I believe you will find a way to do that, my friend. You have certainly made a good start by thwarting his plans at Fornost and the Eton Moors. You know, someone should be setting down this story of yours. It's certainly worthy of being remembered. I do have my own book to finish, but perhaps when that's done, maybe you should give me an account of your adventures. I'll take notes, and one day I can write your story. What do you say to that?
Bilbo Baggins writing my story? That would be an honor.
Very well, then. Why don't you start at the beginning?
I suppose it all started that day at the Sarn Ford. There we were. And so, with the giant dead and the great eagles joining our cause, we returned here to Rivendell to inform Elrond of all we'd learned.
Outstanding! What a riveting tale! There is enough there to fill a volume or two already. I just hope I managed to get it all straight. I tried to take good notes. You really must come back later to let me know how it's progressing.
If I get the chance, I'll be sure to do that. Now I'd best be on my way. Farewell, Bilbo.
It is a fine day for flying, don't you think?
Is Balaram your kin?
No, but he has always guided me. Balaram taught me tricks of the air and secrets of the wind. We often hunt together. He's shown me the fine art of snatching a wild sheep from the side of a mountain, and how to dive upon a wolf and pluck hairs from its tail. Wherever Balaram leads, I will follow.
Great eagles are no beasts of burden, Barenthor. Are you sure you're willing to keep carrying us?
I am more than willing. I had long begged the Windlord for a chance to prove myself. I don't fear orc, goblin, or troll. Let's return to the air and put fear into the hearts of our enemies. It is a grand adventure.
Would you be one of the eagles that carried Bilbo and the dwarves to safety during their quest?
I haven't met Bilbo, though I've heard much about him. My father was one of those who carried a dwarf, and later fought in the Battle of 5 Armies. I was considered too young and inexperienced to take part in the battle. I have much to do if I'm to match my father's fame and valor.
What can you tell me about Mount Gundabad?
I've never been there, but I know it's a high peak that lies far to the north, on the edge of the frozen wastes, and that it has long been infested with orcs. We do not nest there. When the north wind blows across the wastes, it racks the mountain with blizzards, driven by fierce gales. But I will not be daunted by the north wind.
Gundabad awaits us. It's It's a terrible, dangerous thing we're asking of you. Maybe we're asking too much.
I believe this is the time when all who care for the fate of Middle-earth must act. From on high, I see many lands and many people beneath my wings. In my own way, I am a steward of the North. In this hour, I will join with those who are bold enough and strong enough to stand against the likes of Agandar. But if we fail, there may be nothing left to watch over.
It's a fine thing your friends have done, offering to help us and all. But do you think they really know what they've gotten themselves into? What can you tell me about them?
Armanel is a seasoned warrior. He knows full well what he faces, and accepts it gladly. Baron Thor is young, and eager to prove himself. But he has deep courage, and few can match his swiftness on the wing. But you need not take my word. Ask them yourself. They will gladly speak with you if you so desire.
It was good of Gwaihir to give you leave to help us. It's unusual for the Lord of Eagles to concern himself with us ground dwellers.
It is true. Gwaihir thinks first of the safety of his own kind, and he is more likely to take a dangerous task upon himself than to send another. He sees us as observers, watching from high above, but holding aloof from the affairs of the earth. He feels we should bear information, not burdens. Even now, the Windlord is considering what part the Great Eagle should play in the events that lie before us, though there may be little time left to ponder so.
I take it you don't entirely agree with his view of things.
I have served Gwaihir loyally for a long time, and he, in turn, has the wisdom to trust my judgment. He knows that I have chosen the wind I must fly upon, and my choice is this. I can no longer stand apart. I must act. Even an eagle must rest upon an eyrie that has its roots in the earth. We cannot entirely escape the ground, and the fate of elves, men, dwarves, and even hobbits will ultimately be our fate.
What'll be waiting for us at Mount Gundabad?
I can tell you little. The stronghold of Gundabad is carved into a great mountain peak covered in snow and ice. We rarely fly that far north because of the treacherous winds and blizzards that howl from the frozen wastes beyond. It is an ancient abode of enemies, and we must approach it with the greatest caution.
Maybe we've bitten off more than we can chew. What chance do you think we have?
3 alone cannot hope to stand against all the orcs of Gundabad. Only stealth will serve you. We must search out a secret way that will not pit you directly against your foes, or you will stir up a hornet's nest such as you cannot imagine. I have seen you 3 triumph against desperate odds. If you cannot find a way, then no one can. My companions and I will be there to help as best we may, but once you enter the confines of Gundabad, there will be...
We'll keep that in mind. Farewell for now.
Farin, it is good to see you safely return to Imladris, and with your head still set safely upon your shoulders.
No one's happier about that than I am, lady. I've a gift for you. The items from the Edmures you asked for.
Thank you. You have brought these in good time, for we have made barely enough Miraval for present need, and now there is none to spare. With these supplies, I can replace what has been given away, and as I promised, I have kept aside a flask for you. Miraval is potent. Thus, I would advise you to keep this against a time when you're sorely hurt, and your strength of will falters. Drink of it then, and you will be restored.
My thanks, Lady Arwen. I won't forget your generosity. If you pardon my saying so, you look troubled. Is something bothering you? How can I help?
You have done much already, but I will lay my problem before you. For many years, I have worked secretly upon a banner for Estelle, for Aragorn. It is my hope he will bear it triumphantly into Gondor, and the time is right for him to reclaim his heritage. This must be a banner like no other, and must endure for the ages. To that end, I am using the most precious of metals, mithril. Our most skilled smith, Angmir, has drawn mithril into thread for me. The embroidery is nearly done, but as careful as I have been, I fear what I have may not be enough to complete the design.
Mithril! That's a kingly gift indeed. But where outside the mines of Moria could more be found?
It is true. There is nowhere in Middle-earth where mithril might still be mined other than Moria. Yet in ages past, quantities of this precious metal made their way by trade and gift to many other places in the world.
Aye, there are items of mithril to be found in the vaults of the Lonely Mountain. They are among the oldest and most treasured heirlooms of my kin.
Still, it seems there is little hope that more mithril can be found in so short a time. What exists in the world is likely considered too precious to part with.
Who's to say? What you can't have for gold or barter, you can still sometimes wring from the hands of an enemy. It'd be worth it to feel mithril in my hands, to see its beauty and strength close up. Oh, and for Aragorn's sake, of course. If I do find any, lady, it will be yours.
That is a noble offer. I would not ask you to go into such danger for this alone, for it may yet prove that I already have all that I require. Still, it would ease my mind, and I would see that you were well rewarded for your courage and generosity. May Elbereth watch over you and keep you safe.
I hope we reach our destination soon, or this weather may prove more deadly than the orcs.
Take heart. We are nearly there, and this snowfall will hide us from the eyes of the enemy below.
Balaram, look! Above the mountain! Set us down! We can attempt to find a way into the mountain under cover of this storm.
There is little chance of that, with those creatures keeping watch from above. Once we land you, my comrades and I will draw off the beasts.
Let's hope those flying beasts are too occupied with the eagles to notice us.
We can hope their eyes are less keen than those of our eagle friends. We may appear to be just a few more orcs among the hordes of Gundabad.
It's a sad day when I have to hope I'm mistaken for an orc. Attack!
Let none escape us!
Come on, great-hearted scum!
searching for something.
Well, it can't be us. We've only just arrived, and they're heading the other way.
But what then are they looking for? This is just what I needed. These are frightful odds.
Thanks for that, Balaram!
We'll need to work together to overcome these odds.
Back to back! Don't let him get behind you!
A good time to call on the Eagles for help. Feel the wrath of the Eldar!
Can't take much more! No match for me! Great-hearted scum!
Our Elbereth Githoniel! Here is something I can make use of.
Ah, there's a poor excuse for a hidden door here. Ah, a vein of gold.
Just what I needed.
What have we here? All that glitters is not gold. This is.
need of you.
Let's see if you can take me! Badly hurt. Won't last much longer. I'll have to wait.
As well.
Our way is barred.
Let's see if you can take me. Needs more time.
control!
Use fear to face the war! I'll have to wait.
To all. It appears they've been feeding upon the orcs.
We are getting near to the mountain itself. If there's an entrance here, it'll be nearby. Yeah.
Ahead, another orc warband.
What are they doing? Studying the ground?
There must be something wrong.
Look, there's a door.
There was a sharp skirmish here. The tracks are hard to read, but it appears the fighting carried on into the mountain. Someone was here before us. There was a fight here very recently.
The bodies. They're dwarves.
This one lives still.
Well then, come on, you scum. Finish it. You're not orcs.
Andriel, help him. Use your arts.
No, no. Save it. The arrow's poison. No hope. But you can help. Help my friends.
Where are your friends?
Went on. Can't say where. Now. Find them. They need help.
Why are you here? What were you attempting?
We seek a weapon. We must find it. Use it. Stop the orcs.
A weapon? What kind of weapon? Where can we find it?
Dwarf weapon. In the stone. Nordri has the key. Find them. Help them. Please. Save Nordenbach.
Nordenbach? Where's that?
He will speak no more. He is dead.
But there may be more like him within this fortress.
Aye, and they're looking for some sort of weapon. Come on, let's see if we can find them. It pains me to leave fallen dwarves to these accursed orcs, but we have no choice.